Feeling the shoulders drop as we sink into the quietness and gentleness of the music. So we move up to the neck and the throat chakra, opening the throat chakra to be able to communicate to your fullest, seeing that color blue just permeating the throat chakra as it opens wide. And with the opening of the chakra is the relaxation of the muscles, the throat, the neck. Relaxing deep into communication. And even though it wasn't called out, that heart chakra in that upper chest is also touched upon and opened wide. And so we feel our face, eyebrows, mouth, nose, eyes, ears. We bring that total relaxation to all areas of our face, letting our jaw go slack. Feeling that total relaxation and the opening of the sixth chakra, the third eye, right on the forehead, between your eyebrows, opening to the spiritual vision that all of us experience during Sunday services. That is my affirmation. We just breathe in through this spiritual eye as we move to the final chakra, our crown chakra. Feeling that white light pouring in through us. Feeling our scalp and very hair follicles relax into the total relaxation and the opening of all 7 chakras and the relaxation from toes to your nose to your hair. Breathing in. When you're ready, open your eyes. Gently come back to the room and rub your hands together. Feel the heat that gets generated. Placing them on your eyebrows. Bring them down to your chin. One more time. Rub your hands together. Feel that warmth. We're generating energy. As Elliot knows, it's one of the key points. The palms of our hand. Bringing the fingers down below the chin and the final time. Eyebrows slowly down your face, ending on your chin. This ends the meditation. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Kathy. Oh, that was so good. I have put the program into our chat box for those of you who want to look. And of course, I'm also going to just quickly share it with you on our screen as well. So those of you who are coming here for the first time, though, we do indeed have a full program. You've heard that wonderful meditation by Reverend Kathy. And also, here's the whole program. And we promise you today is no bad parts. Absolutely. You will love everything about this today's program. You know, for example, I don't know about you, but that was great meditation. Those of you who are coming here a little bit before 10, you're going to be treated to that. I don't know about you, but I feel it from my hair follicles to my love handles. Yes, that is true. Hi, come on, Joe. Let's bring our first song. Our first song is someone called Sue Riley. I am in love with lyrics. I am in love. Please help me welcome Sue Riley with our first song. Hi, Beth. I just love it when the lyrics are there. Did you want to sing along? Absolutely. Thank you. That was beautiful images and beautiful work. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living. So in case you are wondering and your first time here, who is that person who's talking? Why, she is the moderator for today. And what is today? It has everything. 250 years of this country, and I am suited for the occasion. Yeah! I am in uniform. Hi, I am Love. I am moderator for today. And I want to welcome all of you to Center for Spiritual Living. We welcome everyone here, including our YouTube stream lover. So it does not matter what spiritual path or tradition you follow or what communities of culture you are part of, you are welcome here. What we want to say to you is that our intention is that you be inspired by the music, transformed by the message, and celebrated by this community. I love this community. And we teach the science of mind and spirit, which is the study of life and the nature of the laws of thought, the idea that we live in a spiritual universe, and that infinite spirit is in, through, and around us, and that this presence is a loving source. Boy, is that a good thing to know, a loving source. And it's all good. Most important part is that all of you are significant and you are needed. Doors are welcome here. The service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home, hearts and fun. So, Joe, could you bring up our mission statement? Because this is what CSLP is all about. We have a mission statement. You can unmic yourself or just say it along with me. Our mission is transformation through spiritual practice, education, service, empowerment, and by living inspired lives. We're going to follow that wonderful statement with more music, and this one is by Daniel Neymot. Technical director, let's hear from Daniel Neymot.
I have a different song. It's Use Me by Cheryl Renee.
Okay, sorry. This is what's sent to me. You the boss.
Well, that's what's in my order.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right. Okay, yeah. So this is Use Me, the Mile High Choir live at by Cheryl Renee.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God is the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all and all, leading us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me All that I want you to do is command my hands. What must they do? Command my life. It's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things anew. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand before you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me. And you so use me, oh God, I stand before you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
If anyone is gonna outshine Ricky Byer with that song, it's gotta be Cheryl. It's gotta be Cheryl. Fantastic. So it is not just myself who is putting together this wonderful program for you. Let me just identify who are going to be our star-studded players. We definitely will have our wonderful inspirational message from Reverend Kathy herself. Woo-hoo! And then we have the prac of the day, and it was going to be Reverend Allen, but he needs to take 4th of July 5th off too. Yeah. So our practitioner is going to be Reverend Linda. Woo! And she's going to be bringing together the affirmation. But let's not forget, we have our wonderful tech chair, Joe Begner. Woo-hoo! Hey, Joe. And then, of course, your moderator is moi. That is me. All right. So why don't we start the program and bring up our affirmation for today?
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay. Reverend Linda, are you ready?
This is a total surprise, so I'm as ready as I'll be.
Absolutely. Wherever we have Reverend Allen, it's going to be Reverend Linda. I get the two mixed up all the time.
It's the hair, right, Elliot? It's the hair.
I was going to say the love handles, but that gets way too private.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Reverend Linda, here's the
Okay.
affirmation.
All right. Let's take a deep breath into this and repeat after me and with me. I am consciously co-creating a higher, deeper love in the world. And let's say that one more time. And if you can unmute, I'd like to have this a little louder and have it really go deep into our consciousness. I am
I am
consciously
consciously co-creating
co-creating a
a
higher,
higher,
deeper
deeper love
love in
in
the
the
in the
world.
world. So that was our affirmation. And so Reverend Linda is going to have an opening prayer for us to go with that affirmation.
Thank you, Elliot. So let's just again take another deep breath and know that we are all together on this ride, this amazing roller coaster ride. The roller coaster always gets us to the place that we want to be. A little bit more spiritual, a little bit more full of fun. And this day today, I'm so grateful that all these people are here and chose to be here together. And I can feel it. The music is seeming deeper, and just everything. Everything is great. But we do miss Reverend Allen. And as we move forward, each person that has an assignment today, and that assignment could just be showing up here and participating and appreciating. And that's what each of our assignment is. But we have all our beautiful other people that are also helping get us that much closer to feeling the spirituality of this moment and the togetherness. And so I release this knowing we are each a part of this. We are each have our own way of showing and experiencing this. So I say, we're in love, and so I release this knowing it is all true happening right now.
Thank you, practitioner Reverend Linda. Practitioner Reverend Linda. You know, sometimes I give the wrong title, but there's no such thing as a wrong title because guess what? All our ministers are practitioners as well, and all our practitioners. One of these days, you almost are as a minister as well. And so part of our program, of course, is that we do have practitioners. And if you stay a little bit afterwards, we do have our spiritual hangout. And we are our practitioner of the day is going to be giving our 1 minute miracle. For a full schedule practitioner session or a spiritual mind treatment, you could talk to any of our minister or practitioners to make an appointment. Who are our practitioners here? Hey, could you please raise your hand? Whoa! Oof. I almost raised my hand. I was just demoing it. You know, Carmina should be here, and we know Barbara's a practitioner, Reverend Allen's a practitioner, Reverend Kathy is. It's just everybody but me, you, and Joe. John. All right. So, what is the difference? Of course, we're going to bring the heavy guns. So I'm actually going to bring up the minister. She is going to be giving the most important, the power pack message for today. And I speak worlds about her because I love her dearly, but that's not part of her bio. It just sincerely is. She actually held this Center for Spiritual Living together when our Abby went up to Seattle, and she and Reverend Linda really became the heart of CSLP. So I'm bringing that heart back. So she's going to be giving our message today. Remember, today's theme is no bad parts. Let's hear it for Reverend Kathy.
Thank you so much, Elliot. No bad parts. Isn't that just a great message? You know, when you stop and think about it, wouldn't that be great if all of us felt that way about ourselves? Well, good morning, CSL Peninsula, and welcome to July. Now, we just celebrated yesterday our 4th of July celebration, freedom and independence. But I've asked myself lately, freedom from what? And with 4th of July, we know that it was freedom from the British, back in the day. But in today's world, what is it we're seeking freedom from? I would surmise that a big one for many of us is freedom from fear. But again, it begs the question, fear of what? Most of us in this day and age, at least when we're in the safety of our own home, do not fear for our physical bodies, but those emotional fears are there no matter where we are, and they can wreak havoc on our lives. This monthly theme of no bad parts looks at some of those emotional fears. And the monthly theme for July is whole no matter what. So with honor of the Freedom Day, of Independence Day, what if we got freedom from those so-called bad parts? The parts that are selfish, inconsiderate, impatient and bossy, envious or protective. Sometimes it's physical. Our age, our careers, our families, our physical bodies, we look at as bad parts. I've come to realize just recently that when I'm hardest on myself or others is when I'm feeling separate from the divine. When I'm connected to the oneness of life, I accept myself and others exactly as they show up, without judging, without wanting them or me to be any different than we are. I know there's no mistakes with God. So how anyone in my life shows up at any given moment is exactly how they are meant to be, or they would not be showing up that way. And that includes me. Any judgment or ill thought keeps me separate from the divine consciousness that I'm always seeking to deepen. And I set a theme for myself every year. And this year it's deepening to spirit. So, of course, there's been a long list of things that have surfaced for me, mainly about physical body and about treatment that I've accepted from others, and the way that I have sometimes treated others as well. All these things I deem as bad parts of me. But what if I embraced this whole concept of wholeness and loved all of me, not just some of me? What would that mean? As an example, do I have any issues with my baby finger, or my elbow? Of course not. But don't get me started on people pleasing, weight, both things that I've worked on all my life. When I look at those things that I don't like about me, the same way as those inconsequential things like my baby finger, how would things be different? And before I answer that, let's look back to, on that baby finger, what happens when you get a splinter in it? Well, that finger is no longer inconsequential, right? Our attention immediately goes to this baby finger in all of its entirety because it hurts. There's a problem with it. Not because it's an overall part of my wholeness. And yet I know that the pain is going to be gone soon, and I'll be back to looking at this baby finger as inconsequential. Knowing that I'm a choice I recognize that in that moment, I didn't choose wholeness. I chose pain. I didn't choose eternal truth. I chose a temporary condition. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, says the road to self-discovery often calls for a clearing away of the underbrush of ignorance, fear, superstition, and a sense of isolation, which had made us feel unworthy, unheld, and lost. In the divine providence of good, salvation is unnecessary, but self-discovery is essential. We do not save that which was lost. We merely discover that which needs to be found. You know, there's something about this quote that reminds me of that old Chinese story about the red dragon and the green dragon, where a grandfather is walking along a path with his grandson, and the child, looks up and he says, "Dad, Grandpa, why is there evil in the world?" And the grandfather's quiet for a minute and looks down at his grandson. He goes, "Let's come over to this bench." And they sit down. The grandfather says, "Imagine, grandson, a red dragon existing inside you that is angry, that is ferocious, that is mean. And imagine a green dragon. The green dragon is strong and protective and fights that red dragon to keep all of the things within each of us at an equilibrium of good, a balance between good and evil, where good always comes out higher." The little boy looks up at his grandfather. He goes, But how does the green dragon always win? Doesn't the red dragon ever win?" The grandfather's quiet for a minute, and he said, "The dragon that wins is the one that we feed. When we're feeding that red dragon and the hate and the anger and the animosity, it's winning. The green dragon can't stand a chance until it gets fed with love, compassion, understanding. We are each inherently whole and perfect, just as we are, without needing to change any aspect of ourselves. The red dragon and the green dragon exist. They balance each other. They are both sacred, as all parts of us are sacred to the eternal truth. Our inherent nature is wholeness because we are each unique manifestations of the divine. However, as children, we learned through families, educational systems, religious teachings, the larger culture in which we live, and our local culture about what is right and what is wrong. Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote several books, including The Four Agreements, calls this the domestication of the human species. We learn which behaviors get rewarded and which get punished. So we learn to hide those parts of ourselves that are not rewarded. In addition, if we grow up in a family or environment that is filled with chaos and strife, trauma, we may learn ways of coping that keep us safe, but it also keeps us from living our full life, honoring that sacred connection to the divine within each of us. The domestication process happens early on in life, And as adults, many of us may not even be aware of some of the domesticated tendencies that we've developed over the years. We all have blind spots, places that we don't see some of these things that others may see. Just ask your spouse or someone you're equally close to how they think you're doing and watch the panic come over their face. Oh no, those pants really do make her butt look big. You know, I was recently around someone who was just very, very critical of what seemed to me to be everything that I did. From how I made a U-turn while driving to how I asked questions when I wasn't clear on something. Well, I didn't see my questioning or even my U-turns as something to be changed. They certainly did. The decision I was facing was whether to listen to them or not. Was this a blind spot? And they were my angel and speaking some hard truths that I needed to hear. Or were they stuck themselves in an egoic existence that needed everything in their life to be aligned to their values, not accepting the differences that make up the human race? These are the questions that all of us can ask when faced with criticism. Is this a pointer to a way that I can be closer to God and wholeness? Or is this just someone else's stuff that I happen to get in the direct path of? And if it is something that's a pointer to a way that I can be closer to the divine, what if instead of rejecting or hiding those parts, we honor them for how they've served us and kept us safe? Richard Schwartz wrote the book No Bad Parts and writes that listening to our troubled parts rather than fighting them, we might discover that they have their own stories to tell. Many spiritual seekers fight these troubled parts and actually misunderstand the idea of positive thinking. They imagine they should never acknowledge difficult emotions. If I feel anger, I need to deny it. If I'm feeling grief, I should affirm joy. If I'm afraid, I'll just repeat affirmations until my fear disappears. But denial is not transformation. Suppression isn't healing. Science of Mind invites us to recognize that our thoughts create those very experiences in our lives, not by pretending that difficult emotions don't exist, but by changing the relationship with them. Emotion is not an enemy, it's just information. When you're feeling fear, fear is asking what needs assurance. If you're angry, your anger is asking what boundary has been crossed. Every emotion carries wisdom, even the uncomfortable ones, especially the uncomfortable ones. It's as if each one of these difficult emotions were a great big stone that we put in a sack and we carried around with us all the time. Hiding the sack behind our back does not make it any lighter. It is still there, even though no one but us knows. Excuse me, just a moment. Many of us have spent decades adding stones to that sack. Few of us have ever stopped to ask, who told me I need to carry them? Spirit put those stones in the backpack. Spirit never put those stones in the backpack. Judgment did. Comparison did. Childhood conditioning did. Fear did not. Divine fear did. Divine love did not. Sorry, I got myself all rattled with my choking here. So the invitation isn't merely to put the backpack down with all of those heavy stones. It's to discover that we were never meant to carry it in the first place. I had a friend years and years ago who really struggled with this concept, right? That she gave everything to others, lived all about the outside of herself, never believed in self-care, carried that heavy stone with her of, oh, not me, I don't deserve it, I'm not worth it. We had some long, long talks. She was getting ready to go on a Alaska cruise, right? A lifetime dream of hers, a bucket list item to go on an Alaska cruise. She wanted a set of red luggage. Now, she had a perfectly good set of black luggage, so could not justify the expense of buying something just because she wanted it. Now, I could have bought her that set of luggage, as could any of her friends. But the bigger gift was not physically having the luggage. The bigger gift was to know that she deserved it. And that was how the conversation resulted, was that she ended up getting her own set of red luggage, donating the good black stuff to Goodwill, but to have what she wanted because she deserved it. And that became one stone that she took out of her sack. I had this up for me. Oh my goodness, was this up for me this week? My husband John and I have decided to take line dancing class. Good exercise, gets us out. It's at the senior center. So it just everything came together. So the first day of class, of course, we are out of step of everybody, right? And then that's kind of what you expect the first time. But on the third time, I was still out of step, and it bothered me. I felt that I wasn't good enough. The whole class is turning this way, and I'm turning this way. And I'm feeling that I'm throwing other people off, and, just really down on my bad parts, down on who I really was. And at that moment, I was not a very good line dancer. Now, I didn't go to the higher place right away. Matter of fact, I left mid-class. I just said, not for me, I'm out of here. And I took a nice walk instead. But at that moment, line dancing is not for me, obviously. We'll just find some other way that we can get out and about and be physical and active. And that was my decision after leaving that class. But I thought about it, right? My theme for this year is deepening to spirit. Was this one of my blind spots? Was this an angel pointing into me in a direction that I hadn't looked at before? What if, instead of walking away from line dancing, from something that hurt my feelings, from something that triggered this emotion of not feeling good enough, what if I faced it and said, yeah, well, you all think right is right, I think right is left, and here's what happened when I do that. Oh, you want to lift your hands up, and I'm lifting my hands down? Oh, well, that's just me too. But I'm moving, I'm in a group and dynamic, it's a couples relationship, and to be able to just let go of the judgment that I felt about me, that I wasn't good enough, that I was ashamed of not being able to keep up. What if I looked at myself as not having bad parts. If I just accept them. Sometimes people will ask, if I just accept myself, won't I stop growing? Actually, the opposite happens. Judgment freezes us. Love transforms us. Think about a child that's learning to walk. Imagine criticizing every single fall that child took. Really? Again? You will never learn. You should know how to walk by now. Would that child become confident? Of course not. Of course not. Growth happens when the child is encouraged to keep trying. And spirit relates to us the exact same way. Infinite love is infinite patience. Our spiritual journey isn't a performance review, it's an unfolding. So I invite you on this coming week to actively watch where you put your attention. Is it the green dragon or is it the red dragon? Are you accepting yourself in all its parts? Is that splinter in your baby finger really worth feeling a separation from the divine? If you had asked me that question, I'd say an emphatic no. And I forget all the time. Be free this month, free of the limitations that may have held you back in the past when you did not embrace all of you. Be free from focusing on pain and focus on wholeness, your divine birthright. Let us pray. As I embrace myself, I embrace the God within. I strengthen the bond with the oneness of life, seeing the value in the interconnectedness of everything, knowing that who I am is a necessary portion of the wholeness of life. Those things I like and don't like about myself are just personal preferences, not eternal truth. So today is the day after the 4th of July. Today I begin my life of freedom, independence from my own thoughts of negativity, thoughts of inadequacy, of the bad parts. And I embrace all of me, from my toes to my nose to my hair follicle. And as I recognize the source of this beautiful, beautiful collection of atoms that make up me and every one of you, I say thank you, Spirit. And with that, I release and I let go, giving it all back to Source, knowing God's got this, as I invite you all to join me as we say together, and so it is.
Glowing dream that your fear seems to hide deep inside your mind. All alone I have cried silent tears full of pride in a world made of steel, made of stone. takes hold of my heart. What a feeling. He is believing. I can't have it all. Now I'm dancing for my life. Take your passion and make it happen. Pictures come alive. Now I'm dancing through my life. What a feeling. Take your passion, make it happen.
What a feeling.
I am music now,
He is believing.
I am rhythm now. Pictures come alive. You can dance right through your life. What a feeling. I can really have it all. What a feeling. Pictures come alive when I call. I can have it all. Really have it all. Have it all. Pictures come alive when I call. Call, 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 call. What a feeling. I can have it all. He is believing. He is believing. Take your passion and make it happen. What a feeling. Take your passion, make it happen. What a feeling.
Woo-hoo! Did you get the message? Take your passion, make it happen. Woo-hoo!
Excuse me, Elliot, I have to go. I have an emergency that's come up.
Okay,
Okay.
make me the host. Well, make Linda the host.
Yeah, Linda's already, oh, yeah, let's see.
Okay.
Hold on, so let's see. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Good, 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 good.
All right, I gotta go here.
All right. Take care. Good.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. Those of us who are still here. Oh, what happened to Barbara? Did she drop out when Joe dropped out?
No, I think she thanked you for the message, the welcoming, but sounded like she needed to leave.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. Well, those of us who are here, it was meant to happen, of course. Do you know that song was actually chosen by Reverend Linda this morning, and it just goes so well with Reverend Kathy's song. She's talking about her line dancing, and look at my shirt that says clogging, an American tradition. I quit line dancing because I was not doing a very good job of it. So I went to do clogging. It's called the American tradition. Well, who cares if you have two left foot? All you want to do is to have fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what about the message from the song? The song is asking you, what a feeling. That is what Reverend Kathy's message has done for us, and then the choice of that song and that room. Oh, good heavens. I know those golden drapes on the top of it. It almost doesn't matter because I remember us dancing in that room. And whenever the song came on, we were dancing. We were actually dancing. So what? We're back onto online again, and we are going to do a combination of both. When we do meet in person, we meet and greet, and we hopefully will dance. But when we're not, let's give thanks to those of us who brought us to that message, and Reverend Linda who found the song. But mostly is because of what Reverend Kathy said. It was divine, wasn't it?
It was.
It was just divine.
Perfect.
Yeah. So if you got something from today's message, I don't know if Joe has left the slides. The slides, of course, is that we are going to talk about if we got something from today's message, how do we give back to the center? And we give back through the several ways. We have, of course, the tithing, and of course, we also have the statements itself. So if I have a choice of the matter, Most of us know that with the offering, aha, I know how to do this. You know why? Because I've done this before. This is not my first rodeo, okay? So when it comes to tithing, you have four different ways to do that. We could do it through the donate button on the website. We could do it for PayPal. We could do it for Zelle. Or if you like snail mail, you just go ahead and put it into the box. And there it goes. There it goes. Okay. Now, after you do that, Joe sometimes plays the beautiful song for us to do while we're looking. So if you don't happen to have, Reverend Linda, do you happen to have that song on you? If not,
Do not.
okay. If not,
The Karen Drucker.
Right. Okay. Well, if not, why don't we just go ahead and go into whatever things we have, and we do have the giving affirmation over here. Okay. So let's just have this giving affirmation and say it together. Say it together, and that will be our music, because this is a message from our hearts to with our gifts, with our gratitude. So is it too small for you all to see, or can you see it? Giving affirmation?
Yeah, can you make it larger?
Okay, let's see how to make it larger. Okay. This is what we call, whoa,
Yeah, well,
technology. Is that better? Is that better?
That's perfect.
Okay. Wow. Look at this name. Boom. She comes at us, and she was going to be having it. Okay. Let's say it together. All right. Let's say it together. Our giving affirmation. I bless
this
This
gift
gift
with
with
all
all
my
my heart.
as
as
I
I
I
give,
give.
give. I
I
I
embody
embody
prosperity
prosperity
and
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 abundance,
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 knowing
knowing
I
I
am
am
fully
fully
supported
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 by
by
the
the
by the
universe.
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 This
This
is a
This
is a
is a
symbol
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 of
of
my
my
of my
love
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 and
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 gratitude.
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 It does
It does
great
great
work
Great
in
work
the
work
in the
in the
world
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 and
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 returns
returns
to
to
returns
me
me
to me
easily,
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 effortlessly,
effortlessly,
and
effortlessly,
often.
and often.
and often.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do your donation, but after 2 minutes, I'm going to bring Reverend Kathy back again to bless our tithes and to also do the
Closing benediction.
yes. Okay. All right. If I had known that Joe was going to leave, I would have prepared all the songs because I have them in my file. Okay. Yeah. I just feel really good with the spiritual dimension and be so. Oh, in fact, while you're doing this, guess what I'm going to be able to do?
When there's nothing but a slow glowing dream that your fear seems to hide deep inside your mind. All alone I have cried silent tears full of pride in a world made of steel, made of
right. I just want to stop with that message. Take your passion and make it happen. Take your passion and make it happen. All right. Now it is a good time for me to bring up Reverend Kathy, who has been such a backbone of CSLP, and she still comes back to do the same thing for us. So, Reverend Kathy, could you do us the benefit of our closing meditation?
Absolutely. Did you also want a blessing of the tithes at the same time?
Yes, please.
Okay, yes. I had it as a package deal in my head. I invite you to hold your hands up too, as we just recognize all of the treasures that have been given to us today, directly during this service, for people who automatically send payments, for those who find us and said, this is a cause that I want. We say thank you. Knowing all gifts come from spirit, come from the heart, come from the one source of us all. So I recognize all these beautiful gifts and feel grateful for each and every penny that has been received. And I turn that gratitude back to the divine source of us all as I say, thank you, Spirit, and invite you all to join me as we say together, and so it is.
And so it is.
And as we stay in the prayerful place of gratitude, we close this lovely service, recognizing all of the hands that have been involved in making this service what it is today, knowing that we will each receive the message that we needed to receive from the talk, from the music, from the fellowship that occurs afterwards. And again, we recognize the oneness of all of life, the wholeness of who each and every one of us is, and go forth today seeing the good everywhere. And I say thank you, Spirit, for this, and so it is.
And
So it is.
so it is.
So it is.
Yes. Today's program is so organic, isn't it? And one of the things that being organic is that we could just grow in any which way we want, and we're not going to be judgmental. For example, I forgot to make sure you have time for announcement. Ooh. Yeah. Anybody have any announcements here? Well, I do have one. One announcement is that we decided to have 2 in-person meetings a month. And so next week, we're going to have an in-person one. And guess who we drug in to give that in-person talk? Moi. Okay. Moi. And I was going to panic and go, oh, what an act of follow after Reverend Kathy's talk to us about dealing with our stuff from our hair follicle all the way to our toes. Okay. Boy, that's okay, because I got to up my game. This is what we do here. We don't say, oh, I'm going to be paling in comparison next to Reverend Kathy. No, I am so jazzed by her. I am going to make sure that you are going to, and I'm going to bother Reverend Linda to help me find another dynamite song. She did indeed. We had a little couple obstacles where some of the songs we were using were verboten. We're not allowed to use them. But guess what? We found them. We found them. And we're going to do the same thing as well. So we're going to have a wonderful song for next week. And then tomorrow we do have another Mindful Toastmasters Club is going to be online. And if any of you are wanting to come back, and Reverend Linda and Reverend Kathy and John Scharmer used to be in Mindfulness Toastmaster. You should have heard some of the stuff that John Scharmer gave. His speeches were like, not only were they amazing, but they were secretly spiritual too. They all had empowering messages. They did. Okay. So if they're willing to pop into the meeting Monday nights, we welcome them as well. Okay. So Beth, I know, I apologize. So much Toastmasters talk. We welcome you into this family, and then we are going to have a spiritual hangout. Reverend Linda, you are going to be in charge of keeping the Zoom open. Okay, so why don't you make a decision of whether or not you're going to be holding it or reopening it? Reverend Kathy and John, are you going to be able to come to Spiritual Hangout?
I'm thinking about it, going back and forth. But yeah, if you need me there, I'll certainly be. It's always nice to get at the hangout. People tell me how good I am, so I said, "Oh yeah, I'll come and listen to
I'm
that
for
all
that.
day long."
Well, since we're all shooting from the hips anyway, I have to leave this is online. I had to go and change my uniform and but I would be willing to hang around for 15 minutes if you want to extend the spiritual hangout like right now, because I have so many commentaries that I want to make from Reverend Kathy's talk. What do you think?
I like
I
that.
prefer it, and I've actually suggested this to Alan a couple times that
Yeah.
the minute people hang up and then have to call back in, even if we were to get large groups, we'd lose them. That it's
Yeah.
better to just say service is over. We've made a definitive end, and now let's have fellowship.
Yeah. And if
Yes.
people need to
I'm
take a
on it.
little break, then they do it.
Yeah, and you will bring a drink, bring a drink.
And if people,
Yeah.
we're adults, if we need to get up and use the facilities,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
do it, right? We do it.
Okay, then we're going to stay open and for about 15 minutes. I think that sounds about right for everybody today.
Cool.
And
If you need to go get your coffee, you're still within hearing range and so forth. Yeah, and I will disappear after 15 minutes, but I so welcome this chance to make comments about what you got out of today's talk.
so, John, are you going to stay with us? Good.
Because is it John the one that she was saying about when she was driving and making that U-turn?
Yeah.
Was I? Was
One more opportunity to apologize.
Yeah.
She's
Okay,
not
we'll see
naming.
you guys in 50 minutes. I'm going to go run
No
and do
names were
something.
mentioned. No names were mentioned.
I mean, see you in a few minutes.
All right. So I'm gonna still hang out for the next 15 minutes because I do want to talk about what Reverend Kathy said.
Yeah.
When she said you're taking your first step, and you say you fell again. All of us took that first step and fell, and fell. So it reminded me of the story of I have 3 children, and you try not to compare them. You try so hard not to compare them. But I had a little girl who she walked at 10 months. I had a little boy who walked at 15 months. What is wrong with that boy? Well, we all worried because how can one kid start to walk at 10 months and this one was 15? So we took him and had all these tests, went to the pediatrician and went to the this and that. And they did so many tests on him. After 3 months of testing, they came back with a conclusion. You know what the conclusion was? Mrs. Mao, we have found out there's nothing wrong with your son. What he is he's lazy. You give him something and you have him crawl over there to go get it. He doesn't want to bother. He's just happy sitting where he is. But after 15 months, he did start to walk. And he's 45 now. And he's still walking. Yes.
Elliot, it's interesting you picked the walking child. We often hear that phrase, well, it's just baby steps, it's just baby steps. When we think about that, baby steps means falling down, right? We think about it as just tiny little steps, but it isn't. A baby doesn't just take tiny little steps. They fall down, they get up, they fall down, they get up.
Yeah, that was, and who knows, whatever you need to do to get your balance, to get your strength. And so the opposite is turning right now as I'm teaching Tai Chi, of course. I'm going to my Tai Chi class now, and the number of people who fell, and hurt themselves. First thing I say to them is, I said, remember that first step you took? Woo! Talk about remember that first step you took. You planted that foot down, and you made sure that foot was secure, balanced in the right place before you lifted the second. Yeah. And those of us who are all grown up now, you planted that foot down. You didn't even care where you put it down. You didn't care that it didn't have enough strength. You did not care that it didn't have balance. And you just went ahead and put your weight on that foot. And what did you do? You fell. You fell. So I ask all of you to go back to that very first step, that baby step that Reverend Kathy was saying about. Go back to that first step and talk to yourself, not to everybody else in the room who's looking at you. Talk to yourself and say, are you ready for that first step? And if the foot says, no, I'm not, you need to listen to that first step. Just like we say, that divine message is there for your own good. That divine power is there for your safety, for your well-being. And when you only do it because everybody else is looking at you in the room, and somebody saw you fall and you feel embarrassed, it's just being honest with yourself. Those are my commentaries. I just couldn't help thinking about all that stuff while Reverend Kathy was talking. Anybody else?
Yeah, with me is when you fall down. That's half of it. The other half is owning it. And now what do I need to do for the next one? And in doing that, you have now made, metaphorically, in other ways, you are now standing up again. I am ready, learning what I have learned before. And even if you fall down again, perfect. Now I've got two things I've learned about. And you get up with a lot more confidence and says, this is going to work. And it does. Every time it's tried. But you have to try.
Yeah, that was a very powerful talk of Reverend Kathy in so many ways. And it is one of those things that I know I will continue thinking about it and thinking about the suggestions that John is explaining right now too. And, I've fallen enough times to know that I got to work on this body and the messages. I was telling Elliot that recently, I don't fall as much because I'm doing different messaging.
Mm-hmm.
And
and that's the secret, is the messages we tell ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Well, the metaphors today is really wonderful because everything ties together. One of the reasons I said that, Reverend Linda, you're walking so much better, and she says, well, I lost a lot of weight. And that makes a huge difference. When you lose a lot of weight, you have less weight to carry about. But did you hear today, how many stones have you put into your sack? There's a whole lot of stones. And of course, those stones are going to really, really either physically or emotionally or mentally affect your balance. Get rid of the extra pounds, get rid of those stones, and find out where those stones are. If there's stones or mental burdens that have been given to you because of what Reverend Kathy said, childhood conditioning, the messages, my son who didn't walk until he was 15 months old, he heard this all day long from his father. You're such a loser. Look at your sister.
Oh.
Over and over again, he heard, you're such a loser. I'm pretty sure that affected the boy. I'm pretty sure. The other half is me saying, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it. So we just have to be careful what we say to people when we're judgmental. even as adults now, what you say to people who are really feeling doubtful, low self-esteem, they can't do it. You make a difference. You make a huge difference. Yeah. Where'd you get your stuff, Reverend Kathy? This is good stuff, huh?
Yeah, all over, all over. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it truly is just inspiration that, go into meditation typically before I write a talk. And then I got stuck on one thing and, called John and I said, okay, here's my analogy. Now, where's the message? I'm trying to bring it together and I'm just blocked. And he goes, well, what you're talking about is a condition instead of eternal truth. And I said, bingo, that's it. So that was part of it. I use
Yeah.
AI as well, not so much to go directly from what AI says, but it's ideas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's the outline. Home office comes out with an outline, of course, and that's that's what keeps places like the Peninsula consistent month to month and week to week.
Mhm.
Is that you're following the global themes, which is also how the Science of Mind magazine, shows up. So yeah, lots of sources.
Yeah.
Some of them just personal experience. The Don Miguel Ruiz. I love, love for agreements, and that whole
Yeah.
domestication was exactly what was also, coming forth. So
I remember you teaching that book back
several
in the
times,
day.
yeah, several times, yeah.
Maybe that
Yeah.
should be drugged back in. Maybe
And at the
so.
end of the day, it's all about spirit, right? What's the source of this? Well, we know, right? We know.
That is
So,
true. Well, Reverend Allen sends me what Home Office sends to all of you as the yearly theme and the monthly theme and the weekly theme. So, Reverend Kelly, do you use a lot of it or some of it, or
Um, It depends. Sometimes they're really good, and I could all but read it directly because it's just so deep, so powerful. Other times it's just like, I'm not resonating with what this person had to say. Not that, again, no judgment to it, it's just I don't resonate with it. And if I don't resonate with it, I can't present it, effectively.
Mm, that is good to know. That is good to know.
yeah, it is mostly other ministers throughout the world, really, that contribute to these outlines for people to use or not use, and it's really helpful. It's
Yeah, so
consistent.
they're good ideas, right? They'll usually have 3 points, to bring forward. And then, whether you do or not is individual, person's choice. But if nothing else, even though, how they brought it forward, I may not agree with, the points are usually principle. So you're like, okay, we're going to talk wholeness, and now we're taking, accepting the bad parts and, looking at the one source of everything. Okay, so there's my 3 points. Now, how do I want to expand on it?
Mhm.
that is true. The principles are there. And if those principles are shakable, then shame on those principles.
Then they're not principles, then are they, Elliot? Right?
Absolutely, So it happens to be that I had to give the talk on Mother's Day, and I looked at the whole thing. I go, "There's nothing mentioned at all about motherhood and stuff like that." But I stuck to the principle, and I switched the talk a lot about being motherhood and mothering, and so forth. And then today was July 4th, and then yesterday we talked about. I mean, today's July 5th, but we talked about 250-year anniversary and how was that going to come into the talk. Well, today's talk didn't really talk about that at all, and it was a bit of relief for me because all yesterday was about the 250th anniversary and what we're doing to be honoring this country, and just so much focus on the below instead of the above, huh?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It felt like at times the fireworks were so over the